What's up YouTube? Singularity here and welcome to another episode in the Call of Duty Cold War Zombies series, and in this video we are going to be taking you through how to do the new Easter egg which was introduced in Outbreak, and upon completion you get the new Dark Ops challenge calling card done, the Ravenov implications. There is going to be a lot to cover in this video, but to start off with I think we'll have a look at the loadout and what you should take into the game with you. Because of the recent buffs at the moment, the tactical rifles are really good, so the M16 has kind of become meta again. Some people even choose it over the shotguns, but for me I like the carve rifle just because of the much faster fire rate. When you look at the damage, it does do less than the M16, but because of that fire rate it just gets those bullets off a lot quicker and you can fire a lot more than the M16. So I don't know what the numbers are on this, but I kind of feel like it does more damage in the long run than the M16 does. And you can see a quick overview of all the attachments we have on the weapon, and we're just going to go through them one by one here. So the optic, we've just gone for the reflex. For the muzzle we have that agency silencer just for the recoil control. Bullet velocity doesn't really matter in zombies. We've gone with the task force barrel for the damage range and bullet velocity. Now I chose this over cavalry lancer because that does give you more armor damage, but people think that might be more effective against the boss because you are doing a lot of armor damage. However, that is not the case, and the task force barrel is still the best one to use on the gun. For the body we've gone with the ember sighting point just for that increase in salvage drop. We've gone with a patrol grip for that sprinting fire speed, the biggest and fastest magazine we can put on there, the serpent wrap for that decreased ADS time, and the combat stock for the shoot movement speed and the aim walking movement speed. And for the field upgrade, and the one I would recommend using, is the ether shroud, fully upgraded to tier 5 to give you those 2 charges. And because it's just going to help us move around the map a lot quicker with that increased movement speed, and it's going to come in handy when we are down in the bunker, and it's also going to come in very handy during the boss fight. So we're just going to go through each step one by one now, and giving you as many hints and tips as possible to get this Easter egg completed in solo. So first of all, before you can complete any of the Easter egg steps, you do actually need to be on round 3 in Outbreak. So for the first 2 rounds and even the 3rd round, all we're going to be doing is the objectives and the side objectives, getting point and salvage to make sure we are able to upgrade our weapons enough to be able to complete the Easter egg. So after the first round you should have at least 1500 green salvage, so you can upgrade the class of your weapon twice to rare, and I would do that before you do any of the crystal objectives where you get the ether tool, and that's just because that rare salvage is a lot harder to come by. You can easily get 1500 salvage from the first round. And in terms of upgrading your weapon, I would only upgrade the weapon you actually spawn into the game with, which should be a long range weapon and not a shotgun. And that's just because you will pick up a good weapon later on in the game, so you don't actually need to concentrate on upgrading your secondary weapon. All you have to do is upgrade that original one for now until we get to round 5, and that's when we will concentrate on our secondary, depending on what type of drops we have gotten. I would also hold off on buying perks apart from Juggernog, because that is going to help us, because doing these side missions and killing the elites, you are going to get perks drop from those. And by the time we get to round 5, which is when we'll be starting the final part of the Easter egg, you should have at least 4 or 5, and then you can just go ahead and buy whatever you don't need towards the end of that. So we're just not going to be wasting any money, because we're going to be completing this in round 5, which is the earliest we can actually do it, so we need to save as much as we can. So in recap, do not spend any money apart from pack-a-punching your primary weapon. Do not spend any salvage apart from upgrading your primary weapon to at least rare. The other 2 levels we should be able to get from the crystal objectives, and then once we are at round 3 we're going to go ahead and start the first step in the Easter egg. So our first step once we've reached round 3 is to find a radio which is somewhere on the map. There is a radio on all 5 maps, so depending on which map you are on round 3, you can go ahead and skip to that section, because we're just going to go through all of them and show you where the locations are. And once I've showed you the map like this, we will jump into the game and show you the gameplay of where the radio and the receivers are. If you have played Outbreak before, you will know they introduced a little side mission which was a radio icon that was on the map. You had to turn the radio on and then find all 3 of the amplifiers and tune them to the same wavelength, and that is exactly what we're doing here. The only difference is we don't actually get an icon on the map to show you where it is, so that's why we have it circled here, just to show you exactly where you need to go. So we're on the map where we had circled, as you can see by my player icon there. There is nothing on the minimap to tell us there is a radio nearby, however we do get some text on screen to say that there is inactive, idle, static. So you're just going to want to listen to the signal, and then you're going to get some zombies spawning. What I'm going to do is just run through each step like this fully, just so you can see it, and then I'm just going to go through quickly for the rest of the maps. So after we've killed the zombies and a certain amount of time has gone by, you're going to see Maxis pop up on screen asking if there is anyone there, and then it's going to give us an active static noise between 1 and 8, and in this case that is number 2. So we're going to remember that number 2 because we're going to tune all 3 amplifiers to the exact same number. And all 3 of these amplifiers are in the close vicinity to that main radio there, so you're not going to have to run around the entire map trying to find them. And as you can see, for an example, that first one was 20 meters away from that initial radio, and again once you get close you're going to see the inactive static noise pop up on screen, letting you know you are close by. So just interact with it again, tune it to channel 2, and if you do get the feedback noise, just kill off the horde of zombies, wait 20-25 seconds or something like that, and continue to tune it to the correct channel. The second amplifier is just on this ledge by the U-bend in the road, as you can see on the map, and the third one is just in this little hut just to the northeast of where the main radio was. So once you have tuned all 3 amplifiers to the same station as the noise from the radio, go back, interact with the radio, and it's going to drop the first device we need in the Easter egg, which is the beacon listening device. So we're just going to show all the locations for the radios on all the maps, and once you have that beacon listening device you can go ahead, use that timestamp down below and skip to the second part of the Easter egg. So here we are on Duga, and as you can see the radio is in the top right hand corner of the map. So make your way over there, and outside next to this truck you're going to see a stack of barrels, and on top of those barrels is going to be the radio. And the first amplifier for that is going to be right next to it, just up in this little tower. Make your way up the stairs and there it is in the corner. The second amplifier is just going to be behind these little pillars, just outside this main hangar. The third and final amplifier is just outside of that compound, just in this little hut. Jumping over to Golova, we can see the radio is in the northeastern portion of the map. And if you head over there you're going to see a little outhouse which has got some pallets stacked next to it, and the radio is just going to be on top of there. The first amplifier is just going to be near this little structure next to these hay bales on the floor, and you can see where I am on the map there. Just that little square and you'll find it no problem. The second amplifier is just in this shed area on top of some boxes. You can see where my player icon is there. Just go inside and you will see it. And the third and final one is just outside this building in a corner next to this little concrete pillar. And now we'll head over to Ruka, and you can see the radio there is in the western portion of the map, just where that little area is where you have some houses. The main radio for that is going to be in the tent that is in that area just on top of the desk. You will find the first amplifier just in this little hut on top of the bale of hay. This second amplifier can be found in the main house, and if you just hop up to the top floor it's going to be sat there on the bed. And the third amplifier for this location is just outside that little area in this little log cabin, where you can see my player icon there. It's just north of that area. And for our final map we jump over to Sanatorium, and the radio for that is below the Sanatorium, which is that big circular building in the middle of the map, and it's just next to a statue. So here we are below the Sanatorium, and as you can see just on my left you can see that radio sat on top of the base of the statue. If you head into the doorway just next to that statue you will find the first amplifier. If we go behind the statue and continue up these little ledges we will find the second amplifier sat next to that wall. And if we head down in the direction the statue is facing we will come to this brickwork here, and the amplifier will just be on top of there. And now we have that beacon listening device, we can move on to step 2, and the clue is kind of in the name. The beacon is what we activate when we warp, so all we got to do is complete the main objective for that map, go over to the beacon, and it will now give us a third option, which is respond, and what we're going to do is contact Maxis. And as you can see we get a little M appear on the screen, and that just indicates that we are talking to Maxis. So once you have listened to this dialogue and completed all side missions on this map, you're going to want to warp and go to round 4. So step 3 is to find the item Maxis was describing in her dialogue, and to do this we have to shoot one of the monkeys that spawns on the map. There will be 4 monkeys spawn on each map, and it will be a symbol monkey which will have a white outline. And once you shoot this it will either drop the item we are after or another random item like some ammo. So again I'm just going to put the maps up and show you each location, and again that will be 4 for each map. So the first map we will look at will be Alpine, and I have circled all 4 locations where the monkey spawns. So the specific monkey that we are looking for is the one that has an M next to it. As you can see there is an M written on the wall, and that is random between the monkeys. It could be any of the 4 that are on this map, but once you find that particular one and shoot it, it's going to drop the microfilm slides, which is the item we need for this step. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the monkey spawn locations across the maps and which one could possibly drop this item for you. The first spawn to the southeast of the map is just in a little hut sat on the shelf. The second location southwest is inside this building. Just make your way up the stairs, and again it's going to be sat on a shelf. The monkey to the west of the map is in the house that is second in the row down. Again just make your way upstairs, go outside, and it will be sat behind the door. The fourth and final monkey spawn location on Alpine is very north of the map, right on the edge, just behind this structure sitting on the floor. For our next map on Duga, again we have circled all 4 locations where the monkey spawns. Go ahead and take a screenshot if you like. The first monkey in the northeastern section of the map is next to this little structure which is outdoors. You can just see where my icon is there. If you have a look on top of that, the monkey will just be sat there. The second monkey spawn location will be in the third from the top bunker, just sat on top of the lockers. The third monkey will be in the southwest section of the map, again outside on top of this little hut. The fourth and final monkey will be right south on the map, just behind this wall, sat on the floor. For our third map we will jump over to Golova, and again we have marked all 4 monkey locations. Go ahead, take a screenshot of that so you know where each one is. So our first one, the north of the map, is inside this barn, which is the holdout location as well, just sat on top of the rafter. The second location is in the train yard to the east. It's in this building. Just make your way up the ladders, have a look to your left, and it will be in this little pen area. For the third monkey, make your way over to the church, which is in the southern portion of the map, and if you have a look to the side you're going to see some ladders. Just make your way all the way up the top, and the monkey is going to be in this little circular room which is above. I will see it eventually. There it is. Nope, still didn't see it. Come on lads, open your eyes. There we go. And it's just on top of the pillar there. The fourth and final one is in the southeast section of the map, and if you find this little building, go inside. It is just on top of the shelving. And let's jump over to Ruka for our next map, and again in yellow you can see all 4 monkey spawn locations circled. Our first one is in the southwest of the map. You will find this little garage type building with the shutter doors on the front, and it will just be on the shelving inside of there. The second location to the northwest corner of the map will be next to where we do the defender objective, and if you have a look you will find a little car in that area which is burnt out, and it is just on the floor right next to that car. Our third monkey on this map is in the northeast section, just in this area, and if you have a look on the floor behind these piles of timber you will find the monkey sitting there. The fourth and final monkey is on the east section of the map underneath where this big bridge is. Make your way over to the end of the bridge and you will see it just laying there on the floor. For our final map we have Sanatorium, and again as you can see we have circled all 4 monkey spawn locations, and we will show you where each of those are now. The first location to the south is going to be in this bathhouse just on top of the rafters in the middle of the room. The second location is going to be a little hut to the southwest side of the map, and if you just go inside it's going to be on top of some shelving. The third monkey will be the north of the map. If we make our way inside the building, go up the first set of stairs and into the room in the corner, you'll see it back there just on top of the cabinets. And our fourth and final location on this map is under the bridge in the northeastern corner. Step 4 of the Easter egg is to take the slides that we got from the monkey and place them into a slide projector. Now there can be one found on every map apart from Ruka, so hopefully when you get the film slide in round 4 that map will not be Ruka, otherwise you will have to do an extra round just to find another map that has the projector on it. And that is just going to make things a lot harder for you, because the way the zombies scale in this game, going from around 5 boss fight to around 6 boss fight is a lot harder. The zombies have a lot more health and will take a lot more to kill, and it'll just make your life trying to do this, especially solo, a lot harder than it would be in a group. And one important thing to note here is that once we have actually done this step, there is no going back in the Easter egg storyline, because the next time we warp it will take us to Ruka and where we continue the story, and we cannot warp anymore after that. So just beware that once you do this step there is no going back, and you will be having the boss fight in the next round. There will still be side missions in the next round, so if you still need to buy perks or upgrade a gun, you can still go ahead, do side missions, get your salvage and get your points and upgrade everything you need to, because once we start that final steps towards the boss fight it is going to get very hectic, so we need to make sure we are fully upgraded. So we will take a look at where all the projector locations are on the 4 maps, and you can see it here on Alpine circled in blue just in that main building to the west of the map. So if you go to that building and stand on the southern side of it, you will be in front of these doors. Just make your way up the set of stairs on your left, and it will be in the room just on the right hand side, room 208. Go inside there, up the stairs again, and the projector will just be in front of you. If we have a look at the Duga map, we can see the projector is just south, kind of east of the map in this L-shaped building. So if we have a look, it is this building that has the statue out front in the courtyard, and if you come over to this side of the building where I am, just make your way up the ladders and you will see a room directly in front of you. That's the statue just down there. Go into the room directly in front of you and the projector will be on the table. If we have a look at Golova, it will be just southeast of centre in the police station, I believe it is, kind of building. You can just see it circled in blue there on the map. So head over to that building. I'm just on the western side of the building there on the left. Make your way inside and it will be in one of these corner rooms. Just in the middle there, you can't really miss it. And our final projector location on Sanatorium, just in the northern section of the map. So find yourself in that building where I've just marked there. Make your way into this room that is just in the corner, and there is the projector just sat on the table. Step 5 of the Easter egg: after we have used the projector and warped, it will bring us to Ruka, and then it will display this objective on the map. Now this is to find Ravenov, and once we go down there is no going back from that, so make sure you have absolutely everything you need, all your weapons upgraded, all your perks, armor at full. Make sure you have a kill streak for when you want to come out. I've decided to go with the chop gunner because it does kind of give you that extra life. If you ever get surrounded during the boss fight, you can just pop your chop gunner, mow down the zombies, and you will be okay again. Just note that you cannot use that while you are down here because it is an aerial kill streak and you are underground. So we can see in the top left that we cannot use our mini-map down here. It is blocked off, but the layout of this map is pretty simple. We have 3 missile silos labelled A, B and D, and they are all connected up top by a single command room, which is a circular room. And you can make your way to any of those silos from that room. C is blocked off, but we need that location for one of the steps a little later on. So Ravenov is currently in silo A, so what we have to do is make our way up top, just run around the circle. They are all the same layout, each of these silos, and find this star. That is the indication for where the central room is, and as you can see we have A that just comes off of that, so make your way over there and you're going to want to jump all the way down to the bottom. Use the stairs, rappel, whichever you prefer. Jumping is the quickest, but just jump down to A, find this command center that's over this side, and then when you do, you will get a lift the lockdown objective pop up on your screen. So in this area down here, it is an unlimited spawn of zombies, so it is a good idea to keep on top of those, not let them overcrowd you too much. I mean, if you want to speedrun, it's possible to just leave the zombies and just concentrate on doing the steps. Because it is circular rooms, you can literally just run in circles, avoiding the zombies for the majority of it. But I like to keep on top of the zombies, get the kills, because they do drop armor plates and everything as well. So it's always good to just get those picks, and along with the ammo, they drop ammo. So again, it just saves you having to buy it. There are also machines down here, so we do have a crafting table, we do have a pack-a-punch, we do have the armor machine, and we do have the perk machine. It's just remembering where each of these are. The one I made a note of to make sure I definitely knew where it was the armor machine, because you will need to top up your armor at some point, and that is at the top of A. Again, just run in a circle and you will see it in a little hut. You can't really miss it. After the cutscene we do get a new objective to find the launch keys, and there are 3 of these and they can be found in different sections of the map. And I would highly recommend that the first one you do is the one towards C. Remember how I said that we couldn't actually get into C and it is blocked off? Well, there is a body just at the end of the corridor where it is blocked off that is holding a key, and I would highly recommend that we do this one first. And the reason for that is because that circular command room which links all of the areas is absolutely swarming with mimics, and there are lots of fire extinguishers and chairs on the floor, and when I say a lot we're probably talking 30 to 40 mimics. And you're about to see why we choose Ether Shroud for this step, because we can completely skip all those, get the key and not have to deal with them. And until we grab this key those mimics will stay there, and this is why we do this one first. So head towards C. Once you pick up that key you will get a bigger red mimic spawn into the map, and until we kill him all those mimics will be in the center of the room. So go ahead, kill him, clean up any zombies that you need to, and he does drop a key, and that is going to be our first key that we actually need. For the second launch key we want to make our way over to B and make your way down to the bottom. And you will see a little cutting, and on the left we have an aetherium harvester. We need to activate that, and then we need to actually top it up with aetherium crystals. So if you have a look around B, as you see I just shot some aetherium crystals that were on the wall there, and they will drop little shards that you are able to pick up. So you have these shards around several areas in B. If you look around the bottom you will see them on the wall where I just shot. They will be in the center section where the missile is, there will be a few on the wall, and if you look just to my right where that red tunnel is, there will also be some down there. Or was it that circular tunnel on my left? Either way, one of those tunnels there is some crystals down there as well, and then if you make your way up top there is again some on the wall and some inside the center of that missile bit. So once you shoot them after a while these crystals do actually spawn back in, so if you wanted you could just run circles around the bottom of B and shoot those crystals on the wall. And there you go, as you can see it was the circular red tunnel that had those aetherium crystals in. So we need to collect 20 of these shards altogether, and once we have collected them we need to make our way back over to the machine. And once over at the machine we need to interact and keep our button held the same way when rebuilding the windows, and that's going to deposit those aetherium crystals into the machine. Now whilst you're doing this you will get some tempests spawning nearby. It's easy to just hip fire those whilst you are depositing them. And once we have deposited all 20 of those crystals, the machine's going to work to actually put those into a canister for us. So we need to just wait that out, kill any zombies that come. I got a nuke there which was massive, and I think it takes about 30 seconds for the machine to do its thing, and then you can go back over to it and pick up the aetherium canister. So once it's done its thing and we can interact with it again, you need to pick up that aetherium field upgrade, and that does replace our field upgrade that we have at the moment, and just like it does in Outbreak, pressing those 2 back buttons at the same time it's going to give off a little mini nuke. The only real difference here is that it doesn't actually slow us down. I think that possibly could have made it a little bit too hard if they actually did that, because we do have the sprinters in the map now and they do come at you pretty quickly and they do spawn quite a lot. But what we actually have to do with this aetherium canister is make our way over to D, and there's going to be a certain spot in D where we need to activate it. So go over to D, turn right, make your way past this first set of stairs, go to this second set of stairs, hop down 2 levels and you will see this patch on the floor which is next to this jellyfish. Activate your field upgrade there, and what it's going to do is lift you into the air and towards this little jellyfish thing, and the key is actually going to be inside of here. So you're going to go over, slowly fall down and just grab the key on the way down.
aetherium works, Ravenov. We've recovered the key.
One more. We are making good time. I have nearly completed.
So that's 2 out of 3 keys. All we need is one more and then we can actually start the launch sequence. So what we need to do for the third key is make our way over to A, and this is going to be just like the Firebase Z traps where we had to use them on the mimics, only in this instance we have to use it on a monkey. So if you make your way over to this circular tunnel at the bottom of A, you'll be able to pick up that essence trap, and we're going to have a look around and keep our ears peeled because we can hear this monkey as well, and it will be in one of the air vents. So I noticed it was right up top above us there. You will just see a blue glow. All you want to do is throw that below where the monkey is. Do not get too close because it will disappear like the canister did when you got too close to it in Firebase Z when you had to use the Reiki. So just throw that trap from a distance below where the monkey is. It doesn't have to be very close to it, just somewhere near. And then once it says that the monkey is trapped, or should I say once it says that the monkey is close, double tap square like you would when using a C4, and that will trap the monkey. Then all you have to do is pick up the trap will break and you will get your key. So the final step before the actual boss fight is starting the launch sequence. So we have 3 keys and we have 3 areas, A, B and D. So you guessed it, we have to insert the keys into a certain section in A, B and D. Now if you get the incorrect order like I did there, it said incorrect key confirmation. So we know that the first key is not going to be in A. Now these are random, they do change through the games. So in one game it could be A, B, D, in another game it could be D, B, A. It is just a trial and error trying to find the correct order in which the keys go in. So all consoles for this are in the upper areas of each section, which does make it a little bit easier. However, when you do get the correct order, it doesn't give you a lot of time. You literally have to run from one to the next without stopping, and even then you will only have about 4 or 5 seconds left to spare. So you don't really have any time to fight once you have put these keys in. If you do get an incorrect order confirmation, there is a little cooldown before you can actually start the sequence again, so just make your way to the top of the next one, run round in circles, killing zombies until it will actually allow you to insert the key into the console. So I've done a few laps around B, we will try that one. And again it says incorrect key confirmation, so we know A wasn't the first one and we know B wasn't the first one. Therefore the combination has to be DAB or DBA. Like I said, it's just a case of whittling it down and getting the correct one. So here we are at D, we know we can start the sequence from here, and it says launch sequence initiated. That's how we know that it has started. So now we have to either go A or B, and we are just going to go with the luck of the draw and hope it is A. So I'm just going to let this roll just to show you the amount of time you have, and already we haven't put the second key in and it's already down to 30 seconds. And we did not get an incorrect notification there, therefore we know this is the correct order and the last one is going to be B. So I'm not bothering to fight any zombies, I'm just making my way straight there, and by the time I get there we only have 6 seconds left. So you really do have to make sure you run and get there as quickly as possible. Now that launch sequence is initiated, it is going to actually start the countdown on the boss timer. We only get 9 minutes. So what I would always recommend doing is making sure you have 2 monkey bombs before you go up top. Make sure you go to A and top up your armor, because you will not be able to do this once you are up top. So always start this boss fight with full armor. I take a couple of hits, but that's no problem at all. We just top the armor up again, get those kills, and as you can see we have our timer on the left hand side there. It says get to the surface, So we have our full armour, we have our monkey bombs, which will come in massive for us. Make your way to this centre area and we can see these staircases that just go up to the top. Make your way up these, interact with the door, and so begins the boss fight.
What the hell?
Now it's going to start with a little bit of dialogue, and then once the boss spawns in, we do actually get a little bit of time to put some damage on him before the other mobs start spawning into the map. But we are in a good spot right now. We have 2 weapons fully upgraded, we have both field upgrades, we have our chopper gunner, and we have 2 monkey bombs. So I was just testing to see how much damage the Rake does here, and it is not as much as the Carve, so we swap over to the Carve, and that's going to be our weapon of choice throughout this fight. So as you can see, this boss is covered in armour, just like the normal Tempests on its chest, and what we have to do is break this armour before we can actually do some damage on the boss. So in terms of survival, we can see that purple mist that is around the edges there. Do not go in that because it does damage us, and this is why shotguns are not recommended for this boss, because he will spawn into the areas where that purple is and you will not be able to damage him. So as you can see, we broke his armour, and we know there isn't a lot of zombies in the map at the moment, and so we can put some damage on him, and the way we do that is shooting those little balls that come out from the side, and once we destroy one of those, that will take 33% of his health off, so we have 3 in total that we need to destroy. The only ability the boss does himself that can damage us, he puts an area of effect on the floor, which kind of looks like an electric circle. All we have to do is not stand inside that when he casts that, and that is the only way the boss is going to damage us. So the biggest threat for you in this is going to be from the mobs that spawn around the sides. So my tactic would always be to take care of the elites first and just ignore the normal zombies. So you can see that electric effect that was on the floor there, that is the only way the boss is going to damage you. Avoid that and you will be fine. And as you can see, we went into the purple zone just to avoid the zombies there, and that also did a little bit of damage on us. So now we know there are elites and more zombies on the map, we do pop one of our ether shrouds, and that gives us more than enough time to put damage on the boss and destroy one of those circles. So if you think about it, you've got 2 ether shrouds, so that's 2 circles destroyed without being hit by any zombies. All you have to do is break his shield first. So the biggest thing with this map is definitely crowd control. Make sure you take out elites as quickly as possible when they spawn into the map, because you will quickly get overwhelmed, and you can get manglers, you can get mimics, you can get megatons, and you can get the panzers all spawning in. Make sure you take those out and you will not have a problem taking too much damage. The normal zombies can be dealt with monkey bombs, C4s, because we have 3 of those as well, or just shooting them down as you're getting the elites. And as long as you take care of the elites, it's going to give you plenty of time to put some damage on the boss. You can just run away from the normal zombies, put the damage on the boss without having to worry about any of the ranged attacks from the manglers. So we use our second ether shroud there, and that's going to give us more than enough time to put damage on that 3rd and final orb and get the boss down. So I still had 4 minutes 50 of that boss fight left, so I certainly would not worry about the time. Just make sure you control those elites that do spawn in. I still had another ether shroud I could use, I still had a monkey bomb, and I still had my chopper gunner. So doing that boss fight at the end was not going to be a problem for me there. I have failed it in the past 3 times just because I did not control those elites, and I was getting hit by ranged attacks every second, like it was, you just could not escape them. So hopefully if you use these tips that I have given, you will be able to complete this Easter egg solo as well. If it has helped you in any way, please drop a like, it does help me a lot. And if there are any steps that you need clarification on, or any help towards any of the steps, just drop a comment below and I will do my best to answer. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next one.